Hello, guys. So, let me fix this really quickly. Hello. Right? So, tell me that this isn't the typical like story. Maybe in your house, maybe not. One of your kids has hit the other kid, then you tell them to go apologize and then the first kid is like, "No, he did this to me and he deserved it." And then the other one says, "But he was wrong first or she was wrong first." And then you're like, "If you don't apologize, you're going to get it, right?" And then fine, sorry. And then the other kid's like, "Whatever." And obviously the behavior that we wanted happened, right? Somebody said sorry and somebody said, okay, but we're caught trying to get our kids to do the right thing, um, even when they don't want to. And as a parent, how do you fix this? I feel like this is like the age old question, right? How do we get them to change not just their actions, but also their heart? So can anybody feel me? Like, give me some hearts, some likes. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, I want you to put change in the comments so I know you're there. So listen, I am not a parenting expert, but I am a parent and I'm always making mistakes that I can learn from. And it's funny because people used to call me the resource queen, and actually Jim still does. And today I've got a resource that is going to rock your parenting world because it gives you a strategy on working on your child's heart instead of just their behavior. And it's the difference between putting a Band-Aid on something versus getting to the root of the issue. So you may know the saying, like, out of the mouth is the overflow of the heart, right? So I'm curious, as a parent, what is the one area of behavior that you wish you could change in your kids? Let me know below. I would have to say in our household, it's the fighting. It's like the arguing and the bickering. So tell me below what you're experiencing. But in our family, it's the fighting. It's our kids always seem to be digging on each other and pushing each other's buttons. And we've started not even allowing our oldest to be alone upstairs with his younger brothers because we know something's going to get out of hand. And it isn't that they're usually punching each other, although, usually it's just them being mean or aggravating each other, but sometimes they're punching each other. And if you don't have boys, maybe it's the girl things that happen, right? If you're watching on the replay, welcome. Thank you for watching. Please leave comments and your questions and give me some hearts and some likes. It really helps us to engage together here as a community. Today, as I drink through my brand new Thrive Market water bottle that I'm so pumped with, if you're watching on the replay, so today we're going to be free from whining, punching, yelling, strangling someone, free from arguing, and that's just the parents, right? Free from disobedience, free to laugh, free free to laugh, right? Free to enjoy, free to be wise, free to have wisdom, free to have peace and shalom in your house. Yeah? Anybody? Yes, you need that. Parenting is hard work, right? Parenting is hard work. So I have a gift for those of you who are tuning in at the beginning. If you would like access to our written guide, just type in the comments WISE, and I'll make sure you get them. And throughout the live today, even if you're watching on the replay, anytime you hear something that you feel like is a nugget that you want to hold on to, an idea that you want to remember, I want you to type Free Friday in the comments, and I will enter you to receive your very own copy of Wise Words for Moms. This is what we're going to be talking about today. So you can be the superhero in your household as well. So I'm Amy Miller. I help moms of little ones use natural solutions and holistic resources and bring them into their everyday lives, simplifying life and health and spirit so that they can spend time enjoying their family instead of researching and worrying about all the things. And I've been there with 3 boys and working in the special needs space for many years. I've seen all the above and more challenges. And I have many parenting tips and therapy tricks up my sleeve. But today is your day. I've got a brand new tool that I'm using that's working, and I'm going to share it with you. So, my husband and I are passionate about helping others feel better. And we're not just wellness advocates, we're advocates for change in your lives. So this is Free Friday. This is our weekly series on Fridays to experience life more fully, more abundantly, and bonus if we can do this naturally, right? So, hey, welcome to you, Mariana. Okay, so listen, I know. Oh, yeah. Katie, awesome. You've already said you want to be wise this year too. Okay, so listen, I know living in small spaces, even with one child, is hard, let alone multiple kids. So, and even if your kids are away from you during the day, it's a challenge, right? If a toddler comes to you one more time, or if that teenager lies to you one more time, you just might like pull your hair out, right? Either that or you're going to go on top of the roof to fly a kite. Some of you may have read that in our post this week. That is a saying that my grandmother used to say. She had 6 kids, and when somebody would ask her, like she's leaving the house, or if somebody asked her where she was going, she would say, "I'm going on the roof to fly a kite." And that was like her way of saying, like, you need to give me some space or I'm going to pull my hair out, right? Because we've tried all the usual suspects, right? We've done the whole timeout. We've put them in timeout. We've even spanked them. We've made them write notes of apology. What have you done? We've made them run a half marathon. We've had them copy down verses. We've had them perform community service. We've had them pay us money. We've had them run a full marathon. We've had them donate to a charity of our choice. We've had them dig a ditch. We've had them do hard time, memorize verses about character, build a website dedicated to abusive siblings, right? Change the oil in our car. The list goes on and on, right? But through all of this, we may see a slight change in behavior, but now we're just getting our kids to do the things that they don't want to do. And really what we need is for them to have a change of heart. So growing up, I remember watching parents lose it with their kids, right? In a store or a restaurant. I know you've been there. And I always knew I would never be that parent, right? Why? Because so many reasons, right? Because first, I will love my children and I will consider them a gift and I will be so patient with them. And I'll realize that they're kids and I won't expect them to be perfect like all the other parents do, right? Fast forward, and I'm singing a different tune. I don't care about perfection. I just want them to have their pants on the bottoms and the shirt on the top, right? But apparently that's not always doable. Even I also don't even care if they're nice to each other, just as long as they're mean to each other quietly, right? But no, they have to start yelling and then someone starts squealing at the top of their lungs. So I've got to decide whether I'm going to intervene now or if I go deaf while I wait for someone to start bleeding. Anybody feeling some of these weird things? Okay. Tell me if you are resonating with any of the above. And let's talk about, let's see. Let me make sure if you can. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about this new tool, okay? Wise words for moms. Here, I'm going to show it to you. So wise words for mom. Okay, now before we dive into this, tell me below, what are you dealing with as a parent in your home right now? Like, what's the biggest issue? Is it lying? Is it whining? Is it arguing, defiance, fear, disobedience, selfishness, revenge? Tell type in the comments. Tell me what is your biggest issue that you're dealing with. And while I take some water here. Hey, Nick. Tell me, parenting is hard work, right? So tell me, what's the biggest issue you're dealing with in your home right now? Okay, so at first glance, this tool, it doesn't really seem like much, okay? Because it's really thin. It's like a 3-page booklet, okay? There's not much to it at all. So like, how powerful can it be, right? It's what's inside that counts this, okay? This is a chart that's designed to help you ask your kids heart-probing questions and give them tools for what they need to begin to put off in their life and encouragement for what they can begin to put on instead. And it uses Bible verses to do it. Okay, so let's flesh this out a bit, okay? So I'm going to give you a few examples so it becomes a little clearer to you. So let's take the example of teasing or tearing others down if you've got siblings in your home, okay? Or, you know, this might even be something that is convicting to you because, right, we can't begin to instill some things in our own kids until we begin to have our own heart changes as well. So, okay, so let's look at this. It's a chart. Okay, so we're going to look at teasing, tearing each other down. Teens tend to do this. Siblings are doing this. But the heart-probing question you can begin to ask is, do those words show love and edify your brother, or do they tear him down? Now, I'm going to use examples of brother because that's what's in my home, but you can fill in the blank for sister. And another heart-probing question is, what can you say to edify or to build up your brother? Now, obviously, we don't want to be asking those questions angrily or when we're in an anger situation. We want to be able to calmly ask those questions because we want to, those are some pretty truth-like questions, right? We could be like, do those words show love and edify your brother, or do they tear him down? Or we could really calmly and lovingly ask those truth questions. You know, are those words showing love and edifying your brother, or are they tearing him down right now? So you want to begin to ask some heart-probing questions to the person. And then here's what you want to help them put off, okay? You want to help them put off unwholesome talk. And the Bible verse to go along with this is Ephesians 4:29. It says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. And so that's what we want to help them put off. And what do we want to help them put on? We want to help them put on edifying words that build others up. And this is the second half of Ephesians 4:29. It says, the words of your mouth should be helpful in building others up according to their needs. So that whole verse right there has shown us what we want to put off and what we want to put on. And I don't know about you, but as parents, we have had the tendency to, I've had the tendency of just telling my kids what they need to stop doing, right? Stop lying, stop whining, stop teasing, right? That's a little bit of that put off stuff. But what about if we ask some heart-probing questions in the beginning before we talk about that, and then back it up with encouragement of what they can put on instead? What are you guys thinking about this? Is it blowing your mind? Are you hearing like a free Friday nugget? Is this like something that you've already been doing in your household? If so, tell me about it. Okay, so what about, I'm going to give you another example. What about worry? So maybe you don't have siblings in your home that are dealing with teasing and tearing each other down, but what if you have a child dealing with worry? Okay, so let's talk about the heart-probing questions there. And if you're just joining, please tell me, what is the biggest issue that you're dealing with as a parent in your home right now? Is it lying, whining, defiance? I don't know. Conflict, arguing, tattling? What is it? Tell me below. because I want to help you with this. Okay, so worry. Let's look at worry. So the heart-probing questions that you're going to begin to use this tool to use is, are you forgetting who made everything? When you see your child worrying, or you see them come to you with worry, another heart-probing question you can ask is, who is all-powerful, and what could God do about this situation? And then you want to help them put off anxiety, right? You want to help them put off anxiety. It says in Matthew 6:31, it is not God's will for you to worry. And then again, you want to back it up with encouragement of what they can begin to put on instead. And we want to help them put on trust. 1 Peter 5:7 says, if you pray and trust God to take this anxiety away from you, he will do it because he cares for you. Yes, isn't that awesome? So again, we're many of us as parents, we've talked to our kids about what they need to put off, we need to stop doing. And maybe you've even used some Bible verses to help tell them, right? Or yell at them. How many of you have been there? And how did it make you feel? Or how did it make them feel? Yeah, the whole process is yucky, right? So what about if we were able to calmly and lovingly probe their heart with these questions in that moment? And yes, help them see what they need to put off, but then encourage them what they can put on instead. So who's got an example for me? Let's see here. I'm going to look. I'm going to give you one more example. Anybody want to hear one more example? Okay, what about your kids that make excuses for stuff, or they blame other people for their own junk? We're going to keep this all G, for all their junk that they're dealing with. What about the heart-probing question of, could it be that you're trying to cover over your own sin? Without blaming someone else or making excuses, I want you to examine your own heart and tell me what you did. And what could you have done differently? Because again, we're wanting to help them put off pride. That's really the root issue of what's going on when we're blaming someone else or we're making excuses. We want to help them put off pride, which it says in Proverbs that when you try to hide your sins, you will not prosper. And God knows what is in your heart. But we want to help them put on humility, thinking of others as more important than themselves. It also says, if you confess and turn away from your sin, you'll be forgiven and will receive mercy. So I'm going to share with you guys in our written guide a link. If you want a link for the wise words for mom to be able to get this, yes, you can. If you want your own to be entered to win your own free copy of the wise words that I'm going to send you right to your door, type in Free Friday, hashtag Free Friday, when you've heard a nugget or something that you want to hold on to. Share with me that nugget that you want to hold on to. But let's do a speedy recap, okay? First of all, let me also say, you may be like, so you want me to just carry around this with me everywhere I go, this little chart? I've got a tool for you. So this tool also comes as an app in your Apple store. If you are like me and have an Android, type in the comments Android. We're actually working with an app developer right now to hopefully be able to introduce this to the Android phones as well. So until then, those of you who are Android users, listen up. If you're an Android user, when you get your physical copy of this, send me a DM, send me a private message, and I will send you my very own Google Sheet that you can add right onto your phone, onto your home screen, and you can be able to access it easily and quickly on your phone until there is an app for Android. Okay? And you're welcome. Okay, so today I gave you an amazing tool to begin to use. Okay, so because we want to, number one, begin to ask heart-probing questions and not just fix the behaviors in our home, right? We want to help them see God's wisdom and what they can begin to put off in their life. And number three, we want to encourage them from God's word to put on perseverance, to put on contentment, put on love, put on forgiveness, put on humility, wisdom, trust. So how are you going to be prepared the next time the little person or the bigger person in your home doesn't behave the right way. Don't wait for the moment to come and try to think of something you're going to say. Because we want to be wise moms and dads, and think of questions that you want to ask and a Bible verse that you want to teach what you want. So let me know below. If you need some more support in this area, reach out to me and we can set up a complimentary 30-minute wellness call so that you can discover kind of the next best steps for you and for your family. Now, I'm about to sign off. I want to leave you with this verse from Proverbs 31. It says, "She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue." I think that's who we all want to be, right? So I'm going to be back next Friday. This is going to be our first masterclass of the year on healthy habits. Have you already fallen off the healthy habits that you promised yourself this year? Maybe. Or if you're feeling behind the game by not setting up health goals at all yet, if that's where you are, no worries. I'm going to get you covered. If you want to receive an invitation to next week's masterclass, type the word masterclass below, and I'm going to make sure you get access. I really love being here with you guys. Thank you so much for joining. You are so worth the investment. I'm Amy Millers. I help moms of little ones to bring natural tools and holistic resources into their everyday lives, simplifying life, health, spirit, so that they can spend time enjoying their family instead of worrying over toxins, side effects, all the things, right? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Parenting is actually heart work, right? Heart work. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next week.